Okay.
I know a lot of things about China, so I came here to talk about things in China. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, welcome, Jenyao.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with another how should we say this? Another story from one of our listeners.
Another anecdote.
Yeah,
Anecdotes?
anecdote. Okay, so let's hear it. When I went to the US in second grade, my mom was pretty reluctant to pack me Korean food because she was worried about me getting teased by the other kids about having weird food. Luckily, I lived in a pretty diverse area and we learned that we were quite open to food from other countries. Most of the time, kids were curious and open to any new food I may bring. I also enjoyed introducing them to Korean cuisine and watching them try pronounce the names. However, we were always careful about packing food that had strong smells like kimchi, one of the representative dishes of Korea. So I wanted you guys to introduce the world to the world of Asian food, about Korean food, Chinese food, and a lot of new spices. So, yeah, I'm expecting you guys to make an episode on it. This was the anecdote for today,
Okay.
and we're gonna dive right in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who wants to start?
So this what do you call it? This our listener mentioned about kimchi. So kimchi is like what do you call it? A fermented Asian food. So let's start off with kimchi and fermented food.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys all know kimchi, right?
Yeah.
The
of
most
course.
the most famous Korean traditional food that the world is growing to like more and more. You know those Instagram reels that have people eating rice and kimchi together? They're getting viral more and more, and I'm really happy about it because I'm a lover of kimchi.
Never heard of it. Anyway.
Killing the vibe. Okay, the one with the strips of cabbage that are very soggy because of being drenched in red spice, that's kimchi.
I love that part.
And kimchi is known for having bacteria made by fermentation. And you guys didn't get me wrong. I said bacteria and fermentation.
Whoa.
Don't turn to another YouTube video because it's gross. But bacteria and fermentation isn't actually very gross. Like, I understand that fermented food may smell funny and make you frown when you eat it because of the pang of stinkiness coming from the food. But fermentation is actually a very effective process of making food that is very good for your health.
Yeah, the thing about fermentation is they're like I would say this is like cheese in westerns and western.
Yeah.
Right, blue cheese.
So some of the Asians like think of cheese as as Westerners think of kimchi. We think it, not all of us, but some people think it's like smelly.
Right.
Right.
It's not used to
You know
it.
those cheese that have bugs inside?
Yeah.
We
what do you
really
call it,
don't
maggots?
understand why they eat that. Some of us, but for the Western people, it's kind of
Yeah.
It's a norm.
tradition.
It's kind of
Yeah.
everyday life. Kimchi is just like that.
Yeah. And kimchi is a fermented food that earns its delicious flavor by going through a process that plants helpful bacteria into them. So let's take a little sneak peek at the fermentation process. The process that turns vegetables into kimchi is called lactofermentation, a transformation process by lactic acid bacteria, LAB. The bacteria metabolizes carbohydrates, such as sugar, in vegetables into lactic acid, which gives fermented foods their sour flavor and increases their acidity, making them safe to eat. And there are some people who misunderstand fermentation as rotting. So I found this analogy that compares fermentation and rotting. According to a site called Beichu Kimchi, like the site's name is legit Beichu Kimchi. This is a type of kimchi. It says that rotting is a club where everyone gets in. Bacteria, fungi, safe or unsafe, flavor enhancing or destructive. Whereas in fermentation, you're taking on the role of a bouncer, keeping out unwanted microbes and letting in the ones that are going to make the party pop. So fermentation is like a better version of rotting.
That's pretty accurate.
It's like it's like rotting, but actually we could eat it.
Yeah. So like this fermentation selects the bacteria that are beneficial to our health and body. The fermentation process breaks down nutrients and minerals, making it easier for our body to absorb and helping digestion. The lactic acid bacteria will continue to metabolize sugar until all the sugar is gone. After that, the kimchi will simply turn into vinegar, which can take years to happen. Make sure to keep your kimchi refrigerated to slow down the fermentation process. Old kimchi can also be used in a lot of dishes. You guys know kimchi fried rice.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, for me, when kimchi goes sour or it is a bit too much fermented, I just put it in with rice and like a lot of vegetables and fry it on my like frying pan. And so old kimchi can be used in soup or stew, and the leftover juice is great for kimchi fried rice, like I just told you. To mention more health benefits, according to BBC Good Foods, fermented food also provides a lot of fiber, improving anxiety and mental distress, and also reduces high blood pressure and helps cholesterol balance.
Oh, and one key thing I want to like mention is, Dana just mentioned that kimchi, you could make sure to keep your kimchi refrigerated to slow down the fermentation process, blah, blah, blah. And the old times, I would like to mention that people literally like dig a big, massive hole in their backyard and like, what do you call it? Like store their kimchi inside
We
the
kind of
hole.
bury them.
Yeah, we kind of
Right.
buried that and fermented it. And it actually worked. And it is pretty... Did you like, in your grandmother's like house or something, did you actually like have had an experience burying kimchi in your backyard?
I actually did.
Yeah, it is very fun.
Yeah,
don't you
it's
think?
it's actually pretty fun.
And the process of making kimchi is like a very traditional, maybe kind of like a semi-holiday for Koreans.
Yeah,
like,
right. You
Right.
know, when it
Oh,
becomes
right.
autumn, like relatives all like get together
All
and
gather
they're like
together,
peeling
yeah.
cabbages
Kinda
together.
like a Korean Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
And-
and like pouring salt all over it.
And
Right.
sharing stories. Those are the days.
Right.
So, more about fermentation about kimchi.
Okay, kimchi is not the only Korean food, in fact, that is made by fermentation. In fact, the majority of Korean food involves the fermentation process.
Yeah.
You guys know 청국장?
Yeah, the
Right.
smelliest food.
The
And
smelliest?
What's the smelliest?
I heard that US people hate 청국장.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, they like
me too.
What?
you too.
You
Really?
hate
I
it?
just don't like 청국장.
What?
Why? Because of the smell?
Yeah,
Is
right.
this strong?
I'm capable of eating doenjang
Mm-hmm.
because I could. That's capable.
can handle
I'm
it?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
can handle
okay.
it. But 청국장 is a bit too
Aw,
much for
that's
me.
too sad because I love 청국장.
Yeah,
Uh,
did
if
you
you make
experience-
soup with it? It's very good.
It just stinks too much.
Did you experience like really, really strong doenjang? Like really strong? No?
Yes.
I don't.
Yes, and do you still like it? I guess if you like really strong doenjang, I think you can eat 청국장 too.
Yeah, me too.
Well, the thing is, I recognize 청국장 as really, really, really strong doenjang.
Yeah,
Therefore-
for,
yeah,
for
it's-
real.
it's
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of
So-
right.
Strong doenjang is fine for me, but really, really strong, it doesn't suit me.
청국장 for me is like winter food. So when I'm really cold and I go to a 청국장, a store that sells 청국장 and I eat it, like I feel like my body is getting warm.
Yeah, like we
Oh.
know it stinks.
Yeah,
we
we
admit-
also think it stinks, but
but
it's
it is
really,
really
good for
good.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
It's like soul food.
right.
You know, they may smell weird, but every time you eat them, just think to yourself you're eating a food full of nutrition good for your health. To add another fun fact, there are Korean people who hate the smell of fermented food, but a majority of Korean people love fermented food, like me, so much that its peculiar smell entices them to eat fermented food more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's move on to a lot of spices.
Yeah. About fermented food, I guess that other countries have many other fermented food too, but
Yeah, right.
I believe another reason why people like avoid Asian food is because of its spices.
Mm-hmm.
The use of wide variety of and large quantity of spices make it harder for Westerners to try various Asian food. Well, Nathan kindly researched for us that Korean food uses a lot of spices in general, ranging from ginger, garlic, and especially red pepper and chilies. Thank you, Nathan, for the research. And I guess spices like ginger and pepper is actually familiar with many people around the world, right?
Correct.
Right.
And this is usually used around the world. But garlic, well, people actually use it too, but Koreans love garlic very, very much.
We love garlic too
Right.
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, we love it
Koreans
too much.
typically-
It's almost
Right.
harmful for us.
It's
Yeah.
like Korean
True.
thinks that garlic is like some kind of vegetable,
Yeah.
and Western people think it's a spice.
Yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
biggest difference, I guess.
Really fun behind story about this episode. I was like chatting with Connie or Jenya or whatever his name is about
Okay,
my
okay.
part, and Connie actually like recommended me to do like how do you think about like garlic as a spice? And I said, is garlic a spice? Isn't it a vegetable? Like,
Right.
You know,
And-
U.S. people have garlic powder.
really?
They really think of it as a spice.
Right.
But I didn't.
They put powder on their food.
Growing
But
up
we
in-
really just cut garlic up and like put it into a pan and
Yeah,
like,
or
fry
mince-
it and eat
We
it.
don't
mince
even
the
have to
garlic.
Yeah,
put
or
it into a
mince it.
pan.
Yeah, but garlic. Well, yeah, Koreans really love garlic. Like for Westerners, maybe it like garlic is one of the racial slurs used for Koreans. Is like taunting them that they smell like garlic, right?
Right.
Like taunting Koreans that they smell of
It's
garlic.
pretty sad because we love garlic and they're using it against us.
But and I've got to admit that this is kind of true that we smell of garlic compared to another like and
Yeah.
the garlic smell. Almost every Korean food uses minced garlic, right?
Mm-hmm.
In kimchi, in bulgogi, and in even Korean stews
Everywhere, yeah.
Right.
everywhere. And one of the unique aspect of Koreans and garlic is the Koreans eat whole and raw garlic too.
Right.
When we are having like samgyeopsal or like
Mm-hmm.
pork bellies, some people enjoy having raw garlic with their pork.
I can't do it personally.
I personally love it.
It makes me
Really
cry.
love it.
Okay, to be honest, I have an experience of eating raw garlic at night just because I want to stay awake. and sleep.
What?
So
Whoa.
once I got
Dark
used to
era.
eating,
What?
once I got
Why?
used to eating raw garlic, I just eat raw garlic while I'm like solving math problems.
Like your stomach
just
will hurt like
studying
next
English.
day.
You are
it okay?
savage.
We-
Was it okay?
I mean, it was fine. I loved garlic. So instead of caffeine, which might be bad for your health,
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can try some garlic. It's healthy for you.
I mean, you can eat raw garlic and you can't eat 청국장.
Yeah, that's
Huh.
that's
Okay.
strange.
kinda
like,
contradictory,
I want to
but-
say something. Santino told us about that we smell like garlic, and I heard that in scientific research, if you eat garlic or some kind of spice that absorbs into your body, and like actually we smell like that. It's not just a feeling, but we actually smell like
garlic.
that. But we're just too normal with it. So,
We got used to it, the
Yeah.
garlicky smell.
yeah, garlicky smell.
So like even as a Korean, we're like pretty much used to the smell of garlic. Our breaths after eating traditional Korean food reeks of garlic.
Yeah.
Like Seokwan after staying up all night eating raw garlic, I don't even want to imagine his bad breath after.
I probably have a garlic scent on my body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in our defense, garlic is very, very good for you. I'm not a nutritionist, but I'm pretty sure it is good for your cholesterol rates and your immune systems, blah, blah, blah. Also, you can say you've tasted Korean food if you tasted Korean food with no garlic.
Yeah.
Like, Koreans will relate. You know, if you go traveling overseas and taste Korean food in their local Korean restaurants, it tastes a little weird and awkward. No?
In Koreatown?
Yeah,
In New York?
Not in Koreatown, like local Korean restaurants.
In like foreign places?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've only went to
Yeah.
Korean town.
Well, I think their food is a little awkward compared to the local Korean food.
I guess a
in-
little. Hmm.
Yeah, a little.
That is mainly because it is used less garlic than we are used to. So
Maybe.
if you want to taste real Korean food, I really recommend some with a lot of garlic
Yeah.
in local restaurants. Okay, so China has a really very various spices
Now we're going overseas.
and many ingredients and fermentations. Very
Right.
fascinating like food culture
Right.
and we do have a Chinese, like a semi-Chinese people in the studio,
Uh-huh.
and he's going to talk about Chinese food.
First
Yeah.
of all, I'm not semi-Chinese.
I was referring to
Pure
Shenya.
Korean. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so before we talk about like traditional Chinese food, we first need to take a look at Chinese food that people generally like xiaolongbaos, fried rice, spring rolls, and mooncakes. Now, I've done some research, and statistically, looking at Chinese restaurants, these cuisines were most popular to foreigners because they're very sweet and they have unique flavor. Now, there's nothing particularly stimulating your tongue, but when you actually get past the tutorial phase of Chinese foods, you'll notice that there's a completely different universe of spices, sauces, and exotic animal parts that are involved.
Exotic animal
Yeah.
fruit.
Right.
Yeah.
Then, what is the matter with the food over there? Then, well, I want to focus on the spices too, like Santino said. In China and other Asian countries, they use strong spices. Like there are two big reasons. One is because of their health. Spices help them to be healthy. For example, one of the most known Chinese spice, coriander, which is I will talk about more later, prevent your stomach hurts. And second is about their culture. Like from Asian times, they use spice because of their myth. Because most Chinese people wanted to live really long and be healthy. In the myth, they said if you eat like much spice and other like strange animals like a turtle, you'll be like healthy and live long. So that's like the reason why they eat too much spice and strange animals like bats.
Oh, bats.
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 Oh, let's not get into bats.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Also, in barren areas, spices were used to get rid of the smell of raw materials and bad smells. The meat smells. So within the background knowledge, let's find out some reason why Asian food and Chinese food have a strong smell.
I mean, I have to say something. You know, our classmate, no, one of our classmates can't eat Chinese food because of the spice. So one time after lacrosse, the competition, we had an opportunity to go to a restaurant and like eat fancy food together, all together.
Oh,
And we were actually thinking about eating maratang.
Oh,
maratang.
Yeah,
he or she
They're
can eat
really good.
maratang too.
The spicy.
because of the spice. So
Maratang
we had to eat
is-
chicken.
Like maratang is very, very like popular among. Isn't maratang really
Korea.
popular among like teens in Korea?
Yeah,
Right,
but she wasn't able to eat it.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, kind of like struck by it, you know?
Well, that's
And-
unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think that Western people would also like feel that way about a lot of spices that are extremely spicy or like are really gives a ping to your tongue or something.
Oh, right. Okay. So within this knowledge, I want to talk about the spices that is in China. So first, I want to talk about the coriander, which some says it tastes like shampoo.
Shampoo?
Like Santino,
Relatable.
you know
Relatable.
how that coriander tastes like, right?
Yeah.
What is coriander?
It's
Which food have coriander? I'm really blind to
in, like,
Chinese food.
Southeastern countries have it too. Coriander, they use it all around the world. We actually tasted after like the recordings. We went to the what do you call it?
Mexican
The
restaurant?
Mexican restaurant.
Oh, they use too.
They use it too.
Wow.
Do you know pho, the rice noodle in Vietnam?
Yeah.
They use this a lot.
Oh,
It's
and-
shang chai in
And-
Chinese.
And we went to the Peruvian restaurant.
Yeah,
after.
yeah, yeah.
And the little grass all over the what do you call it? Stir fried rice or something.
Uh-huh.
That's all coriander.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like a very popular in China and also southern eastern country. Also, I want to talk about the Mara spice that we talked before about the maratong that the friend didn't want it to eat.
Yeah, because me and Jenyo really
Uh-huh.
loves maratang.
I love to, like it's very spicy and bit minty, which makes your mouth very, I don't know, like
Very
spiky. I don't know, pain.
stingy. I don't know.
It starts
Uh-huh.
to numb your tongue.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. And it's very good to eat with food. Yeah. And I want to talk about the cumin, which is in Korea we eat lots of lamb screw, you know.
Oh, I had actually had.
Wasn't there a
lamb
lamb
stew.
skew restaurant in front of our school?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
but
right, there is.
but
yeah.
it stinks. Don't go there.
Oh, really?
Actually.
The meat
Thank
smell?
you.
Okay, okay. This cumin is for the sauce of the lamb screw. It tastes like I can't explain this. It's
It's just
tastes
something you
like
have to
cumin.
try.
Yeah, you gotta try.
We can't express it,
Uh-huh.
but it's really good.
Right, it's really good. So I wish you guys try. And there's a spice called star anise, which shapes like a star, but
Ooh.
yeah, it's a star anise. If you boil it, it became a really brown colored broth, I guess, sauce, and it's very good for taking out the raw smell of meat and other vegetables. So they use a lot in Barden area, like I said
Like,
before.
what food does the
In
the
Korea,
star
in
anise?
Korea, we use for the pig feet. You know,
Ah,
the one.
족발.
Yeah, right.
It
족발.
looks like a starfish.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it really
starfish.
does.
I just googled it.
Right. It's it has a very typical, I mean, very odd taste. It has some common thing with the I forgot the word, like kepi.
Cinnamon?
Cinnamon, right? Cinnamon.
It tastes like cinnamon?
No, it's not similar, but you can think as a cinnamon because it takes out all of the bad smells of the meat and
Oh,
other things.
now I
That
get
makes
it.
sense.
Okay.
Wow. I should try it.
Fascinating.
Uh-huh. So yeah, this is almost most popular spice in China, and I want to talk about some broth and sauce too. Because if you eat Chinese food, you're gonna find out there's some strong smell out of the food, but you don't know where the source is.
Yeah.
Right, you know, because it's most of the sauce and the broth. Because when I was in China, I went to a noodle restaurant, which was like $1 or $2, and I ordered a noodle over there, and there was nothing on it, but there was some strong smell coming out of the noodle. So I was just finding out what was the source of it, and I can't find it. Then I knew that later, in the soup, the broth was made out of coriander that I told before.
I don't think Western people use a lot of type of
Yeah,
broth.
right.
They
They use like
mostly
chicken stock
broth? Yeah.
or beef stock or some vegetables. So that's the biggest difference using broth in Eastern and Western culture. So yeah, this is what I got. Yeah.
You know, it's quite
Thank
sad
you,
that
thank you, Jenya,
Yeah,
for
thanks.
sharing your.
it's quite sad that we're verbally restricted to the word spice because there's such a variety of
Right.
flavors
Right.
that
Yeah.
we haven't experienced, but it's only just concentrated to one word, spice.
Mm.
So another thing about Chinese food is that they're extremely economic with the parts, which means people eat tuna eyeballs, pig's face
Oh,
and feet. We
right.
previously mentioned that. And really, they
Wow.
don't leave a part behind. So they also eat foods like scorpions.
Scorpion.
Oh, right.
Scorpions? Aren't they
Scorpions.
poisonous?
If you take
Well-
out the tail, I guess it's okay.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
And
And-
let me guess, spiders. Spiders too.
Not exactly.
How do you
Nice.
guys eat spiders?
we could eat
I mean,
spiders too.
I respect you guys for it, but wow.
No, I
Don't be
yeah.
racist.
No, I'm not being racist. No, I'm not being racist.
I was thinking more about like shark
Uh-huh.
fins.
Shark
fins.
fins? Yeah, I heard about shark
Yeah,
And
fins.
in the like traditional
It sounds
market,
cool.
there's like a frog legs, which tastes like a chicken leg. I didn't have it. I didn't
Frog
try
legs.
legs?
it. Yeah, right. Frog
Frogs'
legs.
legs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's gonna be cool if I say to my friends, "Hey, I'm gonna eat shark fin later." And
And
dinner."
frog
Oh, don't
legs.
do that. It's really unethical.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now, Sean, I hear you ask, why would you ever want to eat these? So it all comes down to traditions. Now, for instance, of a pig, it would be logical for the impoverished population to make make use of every part of a pig they buy, right?
Yeah.
Hence the reason why I called them economic with the parts. So historically, eating different parts of a pig has been quite abundant, not only in Asian cuisines, but also in Western European culture.
Yeah.
But focusing on Asian countries, I've researched that Filipinos eat pig snouts as sisigs.
Mm.
Thais use pig's brains.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
they make
I
a
want to eat.
meal.
But
I wanna
actually,
try
in
it.
China,
Yeah, I
they
wanna
eat
try
monkey's
it.
brain too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Monkey's brains
Monkey's
too.
brain.
monkey's brains.
Monkey's brain.
Uh-huh. Like it was
Soon-
long time ago.
That's
Not like
absurd.
it's
Like soon
like,
after, they're gonna
it's
eat
not
humans'
popular.
brains.
Oh,
I
no,
think.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
Raw?
let's do that.
No, 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 no.
Cannibalism.
That's
Stay out of
Is
the
it
way.
like raw monkey's brain?
They're not
yeah,
raw.
long time ago. Yes.
Long time-
What?
What?
Like I don't know,
That's quite
but in some
insane.
area in China, I heard they eat raw monkey's
That's
brain.
cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it.
But because it's too big, the country is too big. There are too many like
Oh, yeah.
people.
Right.
You have to
Uh,
feed.
right.
and-
Okay, that makes sense. So
Uh-huh.
coming back to Chinese, they also eat intestines and feet. We previously mentioned.
We also eat intestines.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
We do.
matang.
and sundae
Yeah.
and
Oh.
족발
And
and
I actually had sundae like yesterday.
You love sundae.
Yeah.
I really love
exactly
sundae too.
love, but I'll take it.
And
Uh-huh.
and you know the intestines in the sundae too, like the lungs and
Right,
the hearts.
lungs,
Yeah.
I really love
livers.
that part. too.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, you can't miss Indonesians out where they just roast the entire pig and eat it.
Oh,
inside
right,
out.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do
It's
that.
fire.
So enough about pigs.
Okay.
Chinese also eat like camels, horses.
Camels?
They
Camels.
eat camels. Yes,
Uh-huh.
they do.
Yeah.
Horses, scorpions, frogs, and insects. Okay, enough of listing these exotic animals.
A lot of
It's all a part of a minority culture or
Oh.
tradition. So the more you dig, the more extravagant, like absurd animals you come to realize are
Wow.
actually edible. Yeah, I did not know horses were
Yeah.
edible. Now,
Horses.
I did.
horses.
And if
Something
you
I wanna-
think about this,
Something I want to talk about this is that we should be like cautious, like all the listeners and us. If you go to China, this is not the normal sight of it. They don't
Right.
eat like monkey's feet and
Every day,
camel
of
in all the
course.
restaurants or something. It's
Right.
just for the minorities and like for the major they eat similar with us. Like
Yeah,
they
of
eat
course.
crabs, they eat like ribs of the like you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't miss that part.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
But if I like when I ask around the people or friends, they think all the Chinese people enjoy that
Oh.
and eat all the
it's,
time.
yeah, I understand. It's different by person.
Uh-huh.
yeah, it all comes down to culture and traditions, like minorities. So I've had an experience of like eating shark fins. Well, not exactly that.
What?
How was it?
Was it good?
Okay, it wasn't my intention to eat it.
Uh-huh.
So when we go to like banquets or like ceremonies,
Uh-huh.
they serve a shark fin soup to every single guest. So it was
Oh.
kind of given, but despite the ethical conflicts, I've had a try to. I gave it a try, but it's not exactly flavorful or just tasteful. It's about the meaning behind it, the symbol behind it. So
Oh.
when you eat shark fin, it just represents. As I mentioned, I ate it in a banquet or ceremonies, which means it represents wealth.
Oh
Like,
wow!
right.
Yeah,
how much
I
you
get it.
care for the guests.
Right.
and
Uh-huh.
stuff.
So
Oh.
what I'm trying to say is all of these menus have roots of thousands of years and passed on traditions for millennials in
That
a
is very
society
meaningful.
where
Yeah.
symbolic matters
Mhm.
are extremely respected. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Diversity. Yeah, I love it.
Diversity.
I think today was a really unique episode.
Right.
Yeah, we never get to learn about Asian food that much.
Right.
I've learned a lot too.
Yeah,
even
me
though
too.
I'm
I
Asian.
learned really. I never thought people would eat monkey
Yeah.
brains.
yeah.
Especially
Definitely want to
memorable.
try it though.
Yeah, me too. So, thank you guys for listening to today's episode. We are going to come back with another fun episode next week. A sneak peek. We're going to talk about Seoul
So
and China together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So stay tuned and see you guys next week.
And
Bye.
since there's no Nathan to say it, I will say peace.
Peace. Great.
Peace.
For
Later.
Nathan.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.